Welcome to session 3 of this HTB Groups resource, looking at the book of 1 John. I'm Azande. Last time we spoke about how to get more connection, how having fellowship with God and each other is at the heart of the Christian faith. And this week, we're talking about how to see the way ahead. 1 John 1 proclaims that God is light. In him, there is no darkness at all. It's a powerful statement and it brings up many layers of symbolism and meaning. As we start today, let's turn to 1 John chapter 1 verse 5 to chapter 3 verse 10. In groups, just take a moment to read this. Light in 1 John is very closely tied to what we looked at last time, fellowship. Christian fellowship for John has 2 characteristics, 2 marks that help distinguish it. Light, which we'll talk about now, and love, which we'll look at next time. Today, we're focusing on light. Light has a rich set of meanings which echo all around 1 John, John's gospel, and the whole of scripture itself. Proverbs 6:23 says, "These commands are a lamp. This teaching is a light." In Psalm 119:105, the psalmist uses the famous words, "Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light for my path." Peter writes in 2 Peter 1:19, "The word of the prophet is a light shining in a dark place." And the prophet Isaiah points out that God's people have become so morally perverse that they call evil good and good evil. They put darkness for light and light for darkness. To open the Bible is to have a bright light shining on you. So for John to live in light is about being marked by truth, while living in darkness is to hide in error. I don't know if you've ever done this, but when you're driving somewhere at night, out of town, on a country lane, and it's dark, and you turn off your headlights, you can't see anything. It's easy to stray off the road into error. But with headlights, the way ahead is clearly marked and you know where to go. Light is about morality, stepping towards the source of all goodness in God. So how do we walk in the light? This might seem simple. Light, darkness, yeah, I can work it out. It's kind of easy. But when you scratch below the surface, it's a little more tricky than we think. It's like we used to be told we needed to have 1 piece of meat a day to make sure we had enough protein in our diet. Now we're told we can live a complete vegan lifestyle and we'll be fine. Well, which one is true? The point is, it's harder to know what is right and wrong, good and bad, or what's walking in the light and what's walking in the darkness. The answer for Christians is found in verse 5 to 6 of chapter 2. This is how we know we are in him. Whoever claims to live in him must live as Jesus did. This, at first glance, might seem to be beyond us. You see, John was the disciple Jesus loved. He spent time with Jesus, in his presence, being shaped by him, learning from him, learning how to walk in the light. And for you and for me today, we might not actually be able to physically be with Jesus, but perhaps better, we have the Spirit of Christ living in us. So firstly, if we commit to spend time every day with him, praying, we can learn what it means to be like him. And secondly, if we commit every day to reading the Bible, even the Gospels, we can learn more about how Jesus operated, how he lived. We can become more like him. We can live as he did. And don't be put off. There's a lifetime to work on this. But really, this isn't just about what we can do to shine light in a dark world. It's about the light that Jesus shone in the world, to drive away all darkness. John 1:5 says this, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it." I'd love to invite you to take some time to reflect. And you might want to discuss how you see light and darkness in our world, in your communities, and perhaps even in your own life. Let's take some time to do this now. I hope you found these moments of discussion helpful. Next week, we'll be joining Bob, who will be looking at what John has to say about love. You may want to pray now. You might want to light a candle. Ask God to show you how you can be light in your world now and into the future. Ask Jesus that he'd show you how to live, how to follow him in the situations you find yourself in today. Pray that the light of Christ would shine in our world, in your communities, and in your life.